And this episode of Penn Point starts right now. This episode of Penn Point is brought to you by Busted Tees. I started reading the Daily. Now I read on my iPad. I read the New York Times every day. I use their app. I like their app a lot. I wish I understood exactly how they updated it, and I wish they'd lay out what were new articles, what were old articles a little clearer, and I wish that I could just pay for it already and not have ads. I so prefer paying for stuff instead of having ads. I wish everything cost money on the internet. I wish you paid like 1/10 of a cent to visit every web page. I wish I paid for all my porno instead of using Spankwire, or I'm not giving a plug for them, but there's, you know, they're all the same. All those things where you type in what would get you hot right now and it pops up. But I'd rather pay, but I'm just afraid of giving my credit card. I'm not ashamed of porno because I'm telling you about it, but I don't like to give my credit card over there. But I wish there was a way to pay. And I hope that when the New York Times app goes to a paid subscription, that all the ads will go away. It'll be a little more navigational and friendly and all that. And I hope it also, it's just easier to read. They have it laid out pretty well, but it's not perfect. I used to read the New York Times on paper every day when I lived in New York. And there's a vibe to it, there's a swing to it. And I'm trying Flipbook, and I'm also trying, what's the other one? The one that has the lines through there. I guess I can tell you in a moment on here. But I'm also using Pulse. Yeah, Pulse and Flipbook. I'm trying to learn what's the best for news. I don't think it's a really good thing for news. But this new thing came out, which is Murdoch's The Daily. And I subscribed to it right away. It's free now, but I'll still subscribe to it when I have to pay. And it seems okay, but boy, someone should do. I mean, if you have a really good newsreader, what I want out of a newsreader, and maybe I shouldn't be telling you this because maybe I should like get together in a think tank with like my friend Cyan, who does all these, you know, web things. She's a brilliant entrepreneur. Maybe I should talk to her about what a news thing should be and then like market it. But what you should have is you should have something that holds the news together and starts out with the basic thing. Here's what went on today in Egypt. Boom, boom, boom. And then you should have around that choices. Like, I want to go to the left. I want to see what, you know, what the Huffington Post said about the same subject. Boom. I want history on this, the background, biographies, Wikipedia. Boom. You should be able to say, I want to see what the libertarian nuts say about this. So you go to Cato or you go to Reason. I want to see what the right wing says about this. What does Palin say? Boom. I want to see, it should all lay out like that and mix it all together. Pulse and Flipbook, keep it separate, so you have to kind of move around. I would like to take one subject and explore it completely, and I think there should be news that does that, and it probably will be very soon. If someone's doing that already, write me a tweet on that. Penn Jillette, P-E-N-N-J-I-L-L-E-T-T-E, and tell me about it. But I'm reading the Daily, which is the Murdoch thing, and it's all got all the, you know, in the animations, you slide along, and that's just really, really jive. I don't like any of that. And also the writing is not as in-depth as the New York Times. I disagree with the New York Times on everything, but their reporting is fabulous. And since you know that they're really, really liberal, it doesn't bother. You can even read the editorial page and even read the, you know, the nut shit they say, about limiting freedom of speech, which is their big obsession at the New York Times, is so-and-so has money, so we shouldn't hear what they say. But boy, it's good. I wish there were some powerful force like the New York Times that did news that was on, right wing and also libertarian, all sorts of stuff. But really, all you've got, you know, the best news is all from the liberals. That's where that goes. So I'm trying out the Daily, and I will pay for that. I'll pay for the New York Times. Now, I was going to talk about a story during this, but I think this one is going to be just about the news I read and how news should be laid out. But man, I want to be able to see all the different points of view on Egypt, and I don't want, point and counterpoint. I don't want the false dichotomy. I just want to be able to go, what are different people thinking about this all around? I guess you're supposed to do that on the web, and you find it yourself and you search around, and I do that once in a while. But I want it kind of automated and on my iPad so I can read it comfortably in the bath. Is that too much to ask? Anyway, the daily was okay. I want to take a minute and tell you about Busted Tees. The dudes over at College Humor set up this site as a depot for funny shirts back in 2004, and they've been putting out the most awesome designs you're going to find on the internets. It doesn't matter if you're into video games, movies, geography, politics, science fiction, or just wrapping your torso with something weird. Busted Tees literally has you covered. They're the coolest items of clothing since windbreakers were invented. Windbreakers are cool, right? Yeah, sure. You must have seen a busted tee or two pop up in movies like Knocked Up and shows like Scrubs. Now you can grab one to have for your very own, forever and ever and ever. And they're printed in the good old US of A on high-quality, super soft materials in a sweatshop-free environment, so you won't be plagued with guilt when you order them, which, is always a plus. Head on over to bustedtees.com right now. Actually, finish watching this video. Then head over to BT, start scrolling, and get ready to find the shirt of your dreams, your bizarre, hilarious dreams. Enter the promo code Penn Point and receive 10% off your order.